This week, we talk about which wrestlers we want to switch lives with for a week. We give our takes on all that was Crown Jewel and who faces our stipulation of reenacting the DX apology video. And we sink our teeth into a gimmick that has us asking, where's the meat? This is Squared Circle Spotlight. Now hit our music.
I'm the architect building every segment clean. Got a plan for the pod, I'm the mind of the team. Keep the chaos in check when the mics go live. I'm the one making sure this madness survives. We break kayfabe, hit deep cuts and truth. Welcome to the ring, yeah, we bring that proof. Cowabunga kid, bro, I'm high on the vibes. Dropping random facts that don't even jive. Did you know Macho Man played baseball once? Forget the topic, yo, that's part of the stunt. Singing so bad they circle the block, but the crowd still pops when I start to talk. It's Kathy, baby, got that punk rock soul. I'm cool with the stars, but I still play ball. Voice of reason in the circus of sound. I keep these fools feet on the ground. From backstage gossip to headline hits, I'm the friend to the famous with zero nonsense. Master of merch, call me Charlie the Brain. Historian of pain in the Squared Circle game. Got hot takes burning like a steel chair shot. Dropping knowledge so deep you'll need a title shot. From old school vibes to new gym flair. If it's got a logo, I'll be rocking the wear. With a crew in the booth, dropping elbow true. From legends to memes, we bring the proof. Mic check 1, 2, let the crowd all sing. Welcome to the pod, step into the ring.
All right, welcome back. This is Squared Circle Spotlight. Another fun episode, I'm going to say. We got a stipulation, so we're going to see who faces it this week, who won with our picks, and who's going to be doing that DX apology video for next week. So stay tuned for that. That I'm looking forward to. Probably my favorite stipulation yet, just because it's the coolest, but we'll see how that goes depending on who does it, because I think our winner really wanted to do it. So I will stop with that. So we'll give you all our picks. Yeah, self-sacrifice. Be a martyr. We're going to tell you all about our picks for Crown Jewel and who won that. So we'll get into that stuff too and everything that happened there. And then we got our fun gimmick again. So we've talked a little bit about this gimmick we're going to talk about tonight, last week, but now we're going to go full in depth. It was worthy. And it fits kind of our question that we're going to open up with here as well. Because some people might pick this gimmick for this first question. So let's get right into that. So, as I said in our intro, who is one wrestler you'd want to switch lives with for a week? Now, let's start it off with, I'm scared to do this because he already gave me some idea, yeah, of what he wanted to pick. So, Jeremy, give us your
first,
pick.
pal.
You're welcome for that. Hey, you did say it was, I could say whatever, but
Carte blanche.
I'll keep it.
But
Yeah,
no,
we
I take that back.
Yes.
Yeah, we took that back.
I
We
was
regret
shocked
that
you gave it to
immediately.
me first and foremost.
Yep.
You know me for over
Immediately
20
regretted it.
years. You should know better.
That was a little drastic, but let's go with what your
So-
actual pick will be.
Test back in like 2001.
Test.
Why? Because I get to
Test-
relive
wait,
a
Test back in when?
childhood lifelong dream. Like 2001. If I'm not mistaken. He was dating
Go
somebody
ahead,
in
here.
particular, and I get to relive a lifelong childhood dream. Stacy Keebler, baby.
I don't remember that.
They dated. I did
That's
my
it.
research, and I went. That's what sold me. My head
Gotta give
went
him
one
the credit
direction.
when he does the research.
Who's a reputable wrestler that Stacy Keebler dated? And I chose Test.
So wait a minute. Was this, because I don't remember this at all. Was this in real life or was this a gimmick, like a storyline?
Real life,
It
and I
was a
believe that
gimmick
was a
and it was
storyline at
real
one
life.
part where she worked out with him.
I was gonna say,
Wow, I don't
it's
remember.
about half of your research.
Yeah,
Then.
she started to be his marketing manager, and she had that stupid thing, "I love testicles" T-shirt. You know, you're playing to your lowest common denominator.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
But I mean, I guess you can get anything.
Of course, Jeremy would go that way. All right, Jeremy, pick who's up next.
Kathy.
I'm going to take it a totally different direction. I don't know if this is where all of everybody's votes are going to go, but and I'm also going to jump organizations. I would love to be Darby Allin for a week. That dude does some wild stuff in the ring and out of the ring. That dude's been Shark Week. He's clowning Mount Everest. He got to do all that stuff with Sting. Like, I follow his personal and wrestling career because almost everything he does and anything he touches is 97% of the time awesome.
I would agree with that for the most part, but I would not want to do the things he does in the ring. He damn near kills himself.
Every time. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to feel that.
Or he's just one of those freaks of nature that
He could
is
be a freak like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good skateboarder and stuff too, which doesn't get talked about a lot. I mean, he comes out with a skateboard, but there's actually the videos of him online you can watch too, where he's actually really good at skateboarding, vert ramp stuff too, which is crazy.
Being dragged around in a body bag is probably the only thing I would opt out for because that sounds awful. But everything else is pretty cool, so I will take him.
All right, who's up next?
Charlie.
Very nice.
All right, this is kind of hard. Because I could go for you, but real life and wrestling kind of blur the lines on this one. So I would go Shawn Michaels, 1997. To get a little bit more granular, I would go September 20th, the week of September 20th. It's he was pretty much banging Sonny on camera. I mean, they made no. I mean, she's sitting on his lap, and it's terrible. It was in Manchester, Manchester, and British Bulldog was supposed to win the European title. He dedicated the match to his sister with cancer, and Shawn, just because of his backstage politicking and because he was at that time the best wrestler in the world, was just able to do it because he was a dick. I used to like to be a dick. He actually was just getting off the ground, and they were starting to get real raunchy. He could get away with whatever he wanted. You know, how many wrestlers have you heard say that they would? So many people would have got fired, but Shawn could say whatever he wanted to Vince. I would love that to be able to say whatever I wanted to, whoever I wanted. And if you look at the talent that he had to work with that year, Bret Hart, Undertaker, The Rock, Vader, you can include. It's a who's who of wrestlers. I would just add the caveat. I want to steer out of that 97 Shawn Michaels, because if he kept on doing like that, he wouldn't have made it to the 2000s. That's another reason why I love HBK.
All right, that's a good pick. And that Sunny promo is, if you haven't seen that, I don't know if you're into that kind of thing, go watch that, because you don't see it blatantly happening. But now that you know that, if you've seen that promo before, that interview before, and you didn't know what was really going on, go back and watch that now.
Yeah, and you leave in the comments if you think anything was happening.
Just watch the expressions on their faces, and that'll tell you everything. I mean, Shawn's face is almost kind of in a comatose / ecstasy kind of phase there. He's definitely under some influence of some stuff, but watch their expressions, and you'll get the gist of what's going on there. That was a good pick.
All right, John, what do you got?
All right, I'm going into mine. I'm going way wacky with this. So I got two. I'll start with, I don't know if it might be too soon, but I'm going to say Vince McMahon. I'm going to go Vince McMahon. Only because I want to see what was in his like personal journal, personal schedule for the week. So was it like Monday morning, poop on girl's head? Monday afternoon, name sex toy after Bobby Lashley? And see what comes after that. I'm not saying I want to do that stuff.
So I was going to say that was a mistake, because if you wanted to be him, I'm out. If you want to be him to make sense, I'm in. So
There you go.
got to do it. Somebody has to get in that brain and figure out what is happening in the
Taking
world.
one for the
I
team.
would highly advise against that. I think if you go in that brain, you're not
That's
coming
it.
out.
Yeah,
That's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of. I would like to see what
You
goes
won't
on in
come
that
out
brain, but then I'm
alive.
afraid what's been done can't be undone. Because
Take it
again,
back.
we've talked about this. We've only seen the tip of the iceberg, so I'm afraid what else there could be. But I'll take that dive for a
100%.
week and see if I can survive that. My other pick, I'm going with,
We only know what
Jeremy?
we've seen.
or what we've heard.
We
Yeah.
only know what we've
Um,
seen. We don't know what else is behind there.
And my other pick, I'm going even wackier. I'm going the Mountie. And for specific
Did you
reasons.
see the Mountie?
I'm going the Mountie. For a very
Oh, he
specific
gets his
reason.
name.
We're doing a show now, right? We want views. And as I've gotten into this YouTube type brain now, how awesome would it be to just walk around all week? Like I'll film it. I'll have somebody come around with me, film it on their phone. And I'm going to take that electric cattle prod thing, go out in public and just randomly shock people and then scream, I'm the Mountie. And then film it, put it all online. We're getting views. Nobody
Watch
else
the
would have picked him.
1991 SummerSlam match with Boss Man, where Doozer had to
Goes to
spend the
prison?
night in,
Yeah, I don't want that part. Don't give me that week. Give me like any
Yeah.
other week.
Literally any other week.
And I think the prisoner even asked him, how do you like the feel of leather on your skin or something like that when he went to prison? Yeah, I don't want that.
Mm-mm.
Quick thing before we move on. Did you hear Vince's? He recently had his 80th birthday party.
Yeah, but what
And-
about it?
Did you see the party favors?
No.
Okay, and I'm not joking. This is what was reported online, and there was pictures. So apparently, he gave his guests a party favor of him as like a marble bust statue, similar to like Julius Caesar.
That tracks.
That was their. Yes.
That tracks.
Look online. There's pictures of it, and that
Hold on.
you have to be the most maniacal person in the world. Think someone would want that to see yourself. But then you look back and you look at all the backstage footage. It's Vince's office. It always has the Roman chariot. So it's like,
So wait a minute. It was like an actual stone bust. It wasn't like
yeah,
a
it was
little
like a stone bust.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just thinking about how much that cost too.
Yeah,
Holy
you know?
cow. Wow. We need that for merch table.
Yeah. We need to
What a
find one.
psychopath. Who thinks of that?
That is insane. And that's why I want to be in that mind. Who thinks of that?
Yeah.
I'm going to make a stone bust of myself. I'm going to send it to all of you for Christmas.
Yeah, that's what we have for Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You get my head. All right. So that was our question for the week. Let us know who you guys think you would want to switch lives with. You can't pick Vince McMahon. I've already taken that. So pick something else. But let us know who you want. All right. We are going to jump into this week's merch table. And you just got to give me a second here because I got to grab my actual merch because our conversation last week actually drove me to go buy this. So give me 1 second. And I have this week's merch for the merch table, my first merch table segment. I went out and bought this bad boy. All because Charlie not knowing what a wrestling buddy was aggravated me so much last week. This, my friends, they call them bleacher buddies now. This is officially WWE licensed. So WWE, if you want to cut me a check, this is WWE licensed bleacher buddy, not wrestling buddy. They made these back in what, 80s or early 90s. Yeah, I think they had Hogan, Macho Man, Warrior, DiBiase, and Jake the Snake. And maybe they came out with some after, but they've redone them with this new kind of generation now. So they're still making them. I just picked, I'd rather have an Undertaker than some of the other ones, but they're actually super detailed. So you can kind of see, look at them. I mean, they even whited out his eyes. Really good detail on it. But they have Roman Reigns. They had LA Knight, Cody Rhodes. They have a ton of different ones. So yeah, I went out and bought this. He will sit in my chair from here until we stop recording on every show. But yeah, they have a bunch of these. I had the Hogan as a kid and I had a Warrior as a kid. So had some epic Iron Man matches with those in my room and failed that by my parents. But yeah, these were pretty cool. This is probably a little more expensive than I should admit that I spent on this.
I'm going to guess 35.
You're close. It's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Hopefully my wife doesn't watch because she'll be mad that I spent
Was it 40?
stupid stuffed animal. There you go. It was
No way, it
$40.
was 50 bucks.
$40 for an
Holy-
Undertaker wrestling
Okay.
buddy. So
Hey, wait
I'll
till
just-
you
I'll
see how
leave it
much
here the rest
the
of the
bust
show.
is going to cost that you're going to do.
yeah, custom busts for all of you coming at Christmas. But this is a wrestling buddy, Charlie. I'm sure you had one. So, all right, that
All right,
was
so
this
wait,
week's-
now that you've seen it, do you remember? Did you have one? I want to know now.
Okay, so I did a little. Not only I did actually have one. I had an Ultimate Warrior one.
There we go. Okay.
My sisters reminded me of this.
I thought you had Hogan, too.
They remembered Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man in the purple tights. So Macho King.
Yes, yes.
it was.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I just don't remember. I guess because I was just so into the action figures, I didn't really remember them. But now, now that I think about it and I've talked to people, it checks out. You're trying to pull a fast one on me.
Jeremy got one over on you, but it's all right. Everybody gets there. Every dog gets
Core
there.
memory unlocked.
Okay.
That is this week's merch table. That was a quick one. Want to save some time for their next topic, which is probably going to take a little bit of time here. We got our deep dive on Crown Jewel and all the results from that. So we'll jump right into that. I'll say overall, it was a pretty solid show. We'll see what you guys think. I think all the matches were pretty good. There were a couple better than others, but
Yeah.
pretty solid show. So we're going to jump into it. We'll go right in order here of the match card. So we'll jump into it. This match was not announced last week when we made our picks. So we made our picks in our group chat, and this was Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. And we'll jump right into the picks first since we didn't do this already. Kathy and I had Roman Reigns. Charlie and Jeremy had Bronson Reed. So they'll get the win on this one. But let's talk about the match. I thought this was a good match, good opening match. It was fun. I know Jeremy has some opinions on it. It was a street fight, so this doesn't go into our tiebreaker of clean finishes. This one didn't count towards that. But it was a fun match, I thought, to start. There were some cool things in there with like the rugby balls and stuff like that, using those as weapons. But let's start off there. I'll hand it over to Kathy. Why don't you start us off with your thoughts?
I thought it was a good match. I am normally not a huge fan of people coming in and interrupting and taking over, but I didn't mind it with this match, especially because it seems like the Usos and Roman Reigns now have a storyline that's going to pick up, and I thought it wasn't my favorite, but it was definitely better than I thought it was going to be. That whole Roman Reigns, his whatever his saying is, and then he gets his ass kicked. Like, I was a fan of that. I thought that was pretty good writing. So, but well, it's definitely building other storylines. This is, which we always thought was kind of a weird. When we first heard about it, it was kind of a weird match to begin with, but now I get it. It makes sense now.
Yeah, I would say, because you touched on the storyline there, I think to me right now it's probably the most interesting storyline they got going on. I think the other stuff is good, but I think this is probably, you don't know where it's going, so
Yeah.
but we'll see where this leads to. But
You're
Charlie,
normally pretty good at being able to like see
There's
where things
tension
are going.
brewing.
This is definitely going to go. There's 4 or 5 different ways, at least, that I can think of that it could go.
Charlie, what do you think
Yeah, the
about it?
tension is definitely giving them a lot more leeway with writing.
It was a fun opening match. Wait, interrupt, Jeremy. I thought it was a fun opening match. You know, Roman getting the cricket bat involved and playing up to kind of the Australian theme. It wasn't my favorite match. It was what it was. And I think, the best thing I take away from this was the crowd was into it, and you can always go back to that bloodline storyline. I mean, it adds another layer to it. So if you could take anything away from that, that's what you can get.
All right, Jeremy, good. Jeremy?
Well, I definitely like that fact that it. Oh, am I back? Having connection issues
You're
apparently
here.
today. I definitely like the fact that the aspect of the tension brewing, it's separating Jay with him and that whole storyline, so it's given them more leeway to write something else up with it because it was kind of getting dry. The match overall was really good, what I thought. I just had my issues with Roman Reigns and his kendo stick. I think he could have made that look a little bit better, but other than that, it was a pretty solid match. I enjoyed it. Not much more to speak on it.
Bronson Reed getting dropped on that chair was probably the most painful thing I had seen all night. There's no way that felt good.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and this was a
Bronson Reed into a top.
Yeah, absolutely
top
not.
guy.
Yeah, I honestly never cared about Bronson Reed until he kind of started doing this stuff. I mean, I still don't fully care. I mean, I don't think he's going to win the world title anytime soon, but it's made me at least interested. And then I just want to talk about that hot topic in our group chat, Jeremy, the kendo stick shots and the weapon shots. I don't buy into that fully. I'll give you a little bit of leeway, in my opinion. I'll give you a little leeway on that. Maybe some of the kendo stick shots looked a little weak. But the other stuff was solid. And just like Kathy said, that landing on the chair, there's no faking that. So
yeah,
I think there's
no angle on that was okay.
Well, he didn't have to hit him. Oh, I know that. You're just falling on a chair at that point.
Again, I don't know if you could go, maybe a kendo stick you can go a little harder, but you can't go full steam with a cricket bat or whatever that was. I don't even know if that was a cricket bat. It's whatever that thing was.
Oh yeah, no, I know that one.
You'll break ribs with one of those. Yeah, that's not it.
So tell us what you guys think. I don't think he went super hard. I don't think it looked super bad, but Jeremy disagrees. So let us know what you guys think. All right, that was our first match there. Going into the second match of the night, we had Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton. Our picks for that, I was the only one with Tiffany, so I get this one wrong. Everybody else gets it right, but a pretty good match, I'll say. It's okay. That finisher by Stephanie Vaquer, that I don't even know what she calls it yet. That corkscrew flip thing off, and she kind of almost missed it and landed right with her knees on Tiffany Stratton's stomach. That literally made me gasp as I watched it. That looked hard. But let's see what you guys think. Jeremy, you can start this one off. Jeremy?
Subpar. I had issues with just Tiffany's effort in the match. Like, it was kind of mediocre. Like, I've seen her sell better than that, and I've seen her actually, it just seemed like they were not in sync when they needed to be in some of the aspects of the match, and that's what kind of made it mediocre to me.
I would kind of agree with that. I think Tiffany's had a couple rough matches, so I'll give you a little bit of that, but
when Tiffany dropped her on her, flung her down on her head, that was it. I think that was an accident. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up with a concussion. And I almost got a feeling by the end of the match that it became an actual fight. Like, I don't know if they were hurting each other on purpose, but there was definitely, I think, a little bit more force than there normally should be. And there might have been some receipts in there that probably didn't belong. I mean, there was a couple moments where I genuinely gasped because I wasn't sure if someone was going to get hurt. When Tiffany Stratton jumped off the thing, she landed on her shins. She luckily caught her by the back of the head and her shoulder blades, because if not, she would have snapped her neck. 100% would have snapped her neck. So there was definitely, I'll give Jeremy that, there was definitely a beat missing, but I think they're just very different. They're very different styles. They're very different speeds. Tiffany, as we know, is not my favorite, but she was just kind of doing cartwheels for a little while because she didn't really know what to do. And that dragon tail, I genuinely thought she dislocated her knee. I cringed on that one, not more than I normally do for that finisher. But it was good. I don't think it was terrible, but it wasn't. I think there was definitely a little more force used than something's going on there. Personally, I think they were going back and forth a little.
Wonder how much has to do with Stephanie not fully speaking English yet. I wonder how hard it is to call that stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a wrestler. But calling that in the ring with somebody who... I always wonder about that, because you had Stephanie Vauquer versus Io Sky. Neither one of them speak
Yeah.
great English. Neither one of them, one speaks
That was a great
Japanese.
match.
So how do they do that? So I don't know. Maybe it's not that because they had a pretty good match, but yeah, there was some stuff in there. That Alabama slam you're talking about where she did to Stephanie Vauquer and smashed her head
Yeah.
off the ground. The Alabama slam is becoming the new super kick. There were at
Yeah.
least 3 of them on this card. I don't know
On
where
the
this
end
move
of the
just
ring,
suddenly
yeah.
popped.
The one Io Sky did last week, I mean, what a stupid move. And it
Yeah.
didn't even lead to anything.
They did it in this match too. I think Io did it in their match as well. So they did
And that's how it started. Like that was one of the first moves, and I was like, "This is it.
Yeah.
She's out. This is." I wouldn't be surprised if, like I said, if she's got a concussion or a whiplash or something from that.
Yeah. Charlie, what were you thinking?
That one was
All
rough.
right.
Yeah.
Little too short. I think clocked in at around 10 minutes. You know, they didn't really have that much time to work. But what they did, I thought it was okay. They got their stuff in. Kathy, I disagree. I don't think it was receipts being given. I think Tiffy Time is so used to working with the Smashing Machine, Nia Jax, and
That's a good point.
you know, Green and everything, goose shit, Jade, that she's probably just used to trying to stay alive during the match, and to compete with an actual wrestler that knows her craft. But I think you can see the imbalance of talent a little bit. Overall, I thought Raw looked better. They looked like the better show.
Yeah.
And this match was a microcosm of it. A little too short for me, but the spectacular moves, positive. But overall, I'm not see.
All right. That takes us into our next match, which a lot of people have as their match of the night, which was John Cena versus AJ Styles. So this was a good one. This was a little bit different than the stuff they did in the past. So I don't want to steal all the thunder, but it was a ode to their wrestling histories and the people they've faced. So I'll give my opinions on that when I get around. But let's start it off. You know what? I'll start it off. You guys started already. I'll jump right into it. So it's a lot of finishers. Spoiler alert. If you didn't see the match, a lot of finishers. It was finisher after finisher after finisher from guys that they've all wrestled with. And again, I'm probably missing names here, but you had Sweet Chin music from Shawn Michaels. AJ Styles hit that. You had the Miz's finisher in there. You had, what did I miss? Christopher Daniels finisher in there. AJ did. God, I don't even remember what else was in there. So it went so far, the crowd started chanting for 619 for John Cena, and they almost did it. He almost went for it. I would have liked those.
I would have paid a lot of money to see him try to do that.
That's
That
what I
would be
was
his
hoping
last
for
move he
too.
ever did. He would never be able to walk again after that, but I would love to see it.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen it. There's no way. I don't even need think he could fit. His shoulders are too wide
Yeah.
to fit between two ropes, but would have been cool to see. Oh, he did Randy Orton in there too. He had
Randy
RKO
Orton.
and went for a punt, which is crazy. So it was really cool in that aspect. Then you had AJ come out in the old
Sister
AJ Styles.
Abigail.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
just
cool.
How did I forget that one? That was it. I'll let you talk about that one. But you also had AJ come out in the old AJ Styles TNA gear, which was cool. I've never seen that in WWE since he's been here, so that was really cool. But my one critique of the match was exactly what I was just saying. It was kind of like finisher, catch your breath, finisher, catch your breath, finisher, catch your breath, which is fine. It was a good. I'm not taking anything away from the match. It was a really, really good match. I just would have preferred to see a little more of chain wrestling in there. You know, a good continuation, a good flow. But it was, overall still a great match. Told a completely different story than anything we've ever seen. So really good match for them. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. I don't know where John Cena goes next. I certainly don't know where AJ goes next. He's still got a little more time. So we'll see. That might be our topic next week, but we'll get there when we get there. But Kathy, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think it served its purpose because there doesn't need to be a storyline. Then they had to figure out something different to entertain people. And I think this was, I'll give them credit for this because it's not anything anybody expected out of them at this point in either of their careers. I thought it was really cool. I was actually surprised, but I thought it was cool that his finisher was Undertaker's finisher. I would have assumed they did all of this, and I was waiting for him to end on his own finisher somehow. But And I thought it was cool that Undertaker like shouted him out on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, and was like honored to be a part of this and whatever. But I
Yeah.
think they're good together. They match each other's energy really well. They complement. They're older and they need those breaks, and I think they do that well together, and they figure out how to do that where you don't. It's not very obvious. So I think they did really well.
Yes.
Jeremy, what were you thinking?
No, I agree wholeheartedly on that one. They said it during the match. It's like when you're playing a video game and you're just using
Yeah.
everybody's finishers, but it was exciting. You didn't know what finisher you were going to see or where it was going to come. Like we all thought a 619 was coming. Like it kept you on the edge of your seat, just trying to see what potentially they might pull out next that you never thought you'd ever see them do. So it kept everybody entertained. And I said it in the group chat and I stick with it. That Sister Abigail he pulled off was so clean. Like it just looked so good when he did it. And then the reaction from the crowd, they knew the task that was given to them, bringing out the fireflies, Cena seeing it. That moment was like, that was an iconic moment that you really can't take away from wrestling. Like him just acknowledging in that, and you saw the emotion in him, seeing that they remembered the fireflies for that move and everything. That actually stood out the most for me, I think, in that match was that too.
I just wish they lowered the lights a little bit, like just for that couple seconds, just to kind of get that full feeling. That would have been pretty cool.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
but
shout
did
out to
they
that
know it
Australian
was going to
crowd.
happen? No, probably not, but that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, that
they knew
Australian
the
crowd
task
went-
that was given to them. They followed through on that one.
Right into it. Yeah. Now, without hesitation, everybody pulled out their lights, which was awesome. You know, that wasn't planned. So that's great to see.
Yeah,
those.
that was great.
The non-US fans are always amazing. So US, we got to step up. But Australia was awesome too. Just shout out to Australian fans.
We're spoiled.
Yeah. Charlie.
You can go back, watch last week's podcast. I said this would be the match of the night. I said it would be epic, and it was. Didn't let down at all. These guys can't have a bad match with each other. AJ coming out with the TNA. I'm one of the. Well, I guess TNA's kind of making a comeback of sorts, but if you go back and watch some of the earlier TNA, some really amazing stuff. But that was a really cool thing to do. Great match. Back and forth. It was fun. I don't have a problem with the finishers as much as I do. We'll talk about it in the Cody Seth match, because I think this match was more for fun. This match was for the fans.
It was a nostalgia
To send
match.
people home happy, yeah, and to hit those moves and to give people something to remember. So I don't really have a problem with the finishers at this point. John Cena can do it pretty much whatever he wants, but I thought it was the match of the night, early contender match of the year.
I will say one
And
thing.
can I piggyback one thing I forgot to mention?
Go for it.
The script he gave the announcer right before to announce AJ Styles, man. That was great. That was some fun recognition that AJ did not know it was coming his way, and that was a class act by Cena right there.
I actually genuinely believe that too. I agree with you. I don't think AJ knew. It seemed like the reaction on his face seemed pretty genuine. So I think, I don't think that was planned. I think he didn't know that legitimately.
And then at the end, when they were like holding each other's arms up back and forth and giving each other credit, like I thought that was pretty cool for them to take that moment with each other.
It was a nostalgia match. It was great for me. I enjoyed it. What wasn't there to enjoy?
I mean, it got the taste out of that Brock Lesnar squash match out of him.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah,
We had our
seriously.
sign of the night out there
now you
too.
brought
I don't
that
know if
back.
anybody else caught this during the John Cena match. He had it up a couple times, but I saw it during the John Cena match. This is non-PG, but one of these signs in the crowd for a fan cheering for John Cena that said, 5 knuckle me. I don't know if anybody else caught that. Shuffle. 5 knuckle me. So shout out to whoever that was.
Michael's promo, yeah.
Yeah, it all ties back.
There's your Easter egg for that.
So shout out to that guy. Clever sign.
Oh.
I don't know if you really want that, but good sign.
Definitely not. Have you seen that?
Jeremy talked about it 10 times. John
I've shook that hand. Good God.
That's the first thing he said when he came back.
Oh, man.
Hands huge.
All right. Now we're going to
They
go
were
into the women's
massive,
tag
bro.
match. We had Rhea Ripley and Io Sky taking on the Kabuki Warriors. Not what we were calling them last week.
It was a bang in the beginning. Let's just say that.
All right. Pretty good match. Oh, I didn't go over our picks on the last one. So we all had Cena. Sorry, forgot to mention that. We all had Cena winning that one, so we all get a win there. And then we go into Rhea and Io and Kabuki Warriors. I think we all had Rhea and Io kind of shoe in with this being in Australia. But again, another pretty good match. I kind of disappointed that Rhea didn't get the pin there. I don't know why she wouldn't. He gave the pin to Io. I think at home she probably should have gotten the pin. But let's hear what you guys think. Charlie, why don't you start us off?
This is probably my least favorite match of the night. Even you kind of knew that Rhea and Io were gonna win. It was a Raw match. You know, it didn't feel like a PLE match to me. The hometown gave it an extra little feel, but it's let me try to say it right because I said their name wrong last time. The Kabuki Warrior. I didn't know that thing I said last that meant something very. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's a bad thing. But yeah, it was a Raw match. It wasn't a PLE match. It was fun, but another C minus. Least favorite match on the card.
Jeremy.
I mean, it's hard to kind of disagree with Charlie on that one. Like, they attacked the hell out of Io right in the beginning and everything. They took Rhea out right away where she wasn't even relevant for the first, what it felt like 5 minutes of the match. Then it was an onslaught mostly for another 5 minutes. Then they finally bring it back. She gets in. And then you finally see the momentum kind of pick up in their favor, but Charlie's right. It didn't feel like it was a PLE match at all. It was an average match. Not saying that you'd want to see on that type of card. Joe.
All right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was a pretty good match. It wasn't great, like you said, but I kind of agree with you guys. It wasn't a great PLE match. What disappoints me is, like I said, Rhea didn't get the pin, and this is in her home country. They don't go to Australia a lot. I think she should have had a bigger match of some sort. Again, you do champion versus champion, so she can't get that big match. But I would have rather see maybe just Rhea and Asuka. I think they could have torn the house down and done something like that better than this tag match. So that's my disappointment with it, is like, give her a bigger spotlight. She gets the win, but it's a tag match, and nobody really cares because they all knew she was going to win. So I would like to see her get a better match because they can put on some pretty good. Those four individually can put on good matches together. The tag match felt a little cluttered.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably the biggest downfall of it. Kathy.
Yeah, I definitely, at worst, maybe it was an opening match. If we had to put it anywhere else, I would have definitely not put it as the women's headliner. I think the only thing they really did for her that had anything to do with home was her jacket was super cool and it had the flag on it and all that kind of stuff. But other than that, it didn't feel, they definitely gypped her on that. And I don't know if that's, she seems like, from the interviews I've seen, she seems like the kind of person that might have done that, had something to say about that. She doesn't like to be that kind of person. She doesn't want to be the center of attention. She likes giving credit to other people. But they should have definitely either wrote the story better up to this point to make it a much bigger match than it was, or let her, I mean, she had her moment. I guess what they were doing was they were keeping her out of it so that when she did come in, she came in with a bang and everybody lost it, which is exactly, I'll give them that. They had that reaction. But other than that, she was like you said, she was on the sidelines. I don't find her to have been very relevant in that match at all. So, C, maybe.
All right. And that brings us to our main event. And this was the one that decided the stipulation. So up to this point, pretty much all kind of picked the same with the exception of a couple. So I got Tiffany and Roman wrong. Kathy got Roman and Bronson wrong. And so far, Jeremy and Charlie have gotten them all right up to this match. So here we had Cody versus Seth. And Kathy, myself, and Charlie had Seth. Jeremy had Cody. Seth gets the win. So Charlie is our winner this week. I think for like the third time in a row now. So this guy never faces a stipulation. But let's get into the match first before we talk stipulations here. I think to me, this was up there with that Cena AJ match for match of the night. Those are probably the two best matches in my opinion. Really cool match. I liked it. The one, and we've talked about this before, and I'm going to say it again. Finishers not mattering. Here's my biggest critique of this match, and it makes me mad. Cody hit his crossroads off the top rope, which looked really brutal to begin with. They even showed us replay, which looked awesome, right? Seth kicks out of that. Seth wins the match after punching him with a watch. A watch. Now, listen, it hurts. I'm sure getting punched with a watch hurts. It hurts your hand just as bad as getting punched with it.
Yeah,
there's no way.
People.
With a watch.
He knows this from experience. Allegedly.
Yeah. Whatever you got, use.
But hitting someone.
Prove it.
It wasn't brass knuckles. It wasn't a chair.
Watch one.
But that's the thing that I hated about it. That's the one, my big critique of the match. Other than that, it was great. But that finisher thing, I don't get. The curb stomp off the top rope was great too. That was awesome. But yeah, that crossroads not meaning anything, and to lose by getting punched with a Rolex. Shout out to Rolex because you must make some solid ass watches.
Seriously,
knocked out Cody. It was a really fun match, and we can kind of see where this is
knocking the competition out.
We'll circle back to where we think this is going, but let's go, Kathy. You let's start us off here.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a good match. I think it was a little slow. Seth kind of wasting time in the beginning of it for a while doing his whole spiel. So I find it to be annoying, especially when it takes longer than 30 seconds. I mean, he walks around, talks to himself, and throws shit and has a temper tantrum. I think that went on for a little bit too long, but other than that, once it started, it kicked in full gear. Speaking of gear, I thought the Seth Rollins wearing the patches from all the previous Cody matches, I thought that was really cool too, because they were pointing out like, oh, that's the Hell in a Cell one, like things you wouldn't notice. And I think that if they didn't say anything, I would have just thought it was another weird Seth Rollins outfit, but I'm glad they at least acknowledged that part of it. But it's just, it at least fit the main event card. So I will give them. I wasn't sure about this. Yeah. I didn't know where this was going to go. I didn't think it was. I thought it was just going to be a time filler in my prediction at the time. But it was definitely better than I thought it was going to be.
Go, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree a little bit more with Joe. I think this was right up there behind Cena AJ. I really did enjoy the match. The only knock I have is the finishers. I mean, what's the point of a finishing move? Especially, Stone Cold didn't have to stun guys 4 times. You know what I mean? When Jake the Snake hit the DDT, it was over. Yeah, but Joe talked about that. The only thing I'll say, that's a negative, but I like the storytelling with the Rolex. That was the Rolex that Cody gifted him.
Yeah.
So you kind of weave that storyline, that thread all the way through. So even though he asked Heyman and the Brahms to stay away, he still had to resort to dastardly tactics, So that's good wrestling storytelling.
Maniacal one.
You remember when Cody gave him the Rolex and
yep.
Now he beat him with him.
Jeremy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's not much more now to say from you guys covering about the whole match, but it was a good match, and I definitely think Seth hurt his shoulder doing that coast to coast. Like the way he landed on it, he definitely looked like he jammed that up pretty good, and I don't think he was able to not read that on his face when he was moving around when they were getting those camera angles. You saw the expression on his face.
That was a cool move too. Forgot about that. That coast to coast headbutt he did. That was wild. That was a good one. Yeah. Hopefully he's not legitimately injured because he's spent a lot of time away with injury. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, they kept all the moves that
Or
Seth
did
Rollins
he?
was doing was always was shoulder focused, and again, it's part of the storyline. But I really hope that he didn't take it a little too far.
Did anyone notice how much better Raw looked than SmackDown?
Oh God, yeah.
I think SmackDown's definitely the B show, and I think kind of got exposed as the B show.
I think that was on purpose, though. So I did
been
want to
for the
talk about
longest
SmackDown.
time,
I
though?
forgot about that at the beginning, but I want to talk about a little bit of that main event on SmackDown. But I think that was on purpose because you had most of those SmackDown people wrestling on this card, or you had a bunch of them. So I think they were trying to save people for that. But yeah, I think this week specifically, I think Raw was definitely better because you had bigger matches. But there were some pretty good matches on there. That main event with Aleister Black and Damian Priest. I don't want to go too long here, but I thought that was a really, really cool match. I love Aleister Black. And that was a really good match.
You saw Fire Spot.
Yeah, right. Last time we saw that, Hogan screwed it up. So
He didn't like the flag.
that was cool. I thought that was a good match. And even that beginning one with Sami Zayn and Shinsuke, and then making Solo's group look cool again, rebranding them and making them look like the Gorillas of Destiny in New Japan. Give them a new story because they were kind of looking weak. We'll see where that goes too. But but back to that main event. I just want to talk one last thing. That Crown Jewel title, I think, Charlie, you said it too in our group chat, is absolutely atrocious. Thanks, Saudi Arabia, for making the ugliest belt.
Grotesque.
It's half the size. Stephanie Vaquer's is from waist to neck. I mean, it's massive.
It's like the shield that they wear not to get speared.
yeah. That's what Bret Hart wore when Goldberg was going to spear him.
Yeah.
That thing. So that is ugly. But they get a ring too. I guess the ring's cooler. I don't know. But yeah. So that
I
was
don't want to carry that around. That thing probably weighs 50 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Well, they make it look like that too, because they always have two people carry it down to the ring in that big briefcase thing. So they make it believable, and it probably is heavy. I wouldn't doubt it. And you got to bring that through the airport. So good luck with that.
Overall, what do you guys?
You're gonna need to check that in.
What grade would you give it?
I give the entire show or the match.
The entire show.
I give it a B. I don't think the ESPN deal thing, because this was the second
B
PLE
minus.
on ESPN, has started off great. But I do think they are leaning into that thing we talked about a little bit, where to make it more sports-like. Because we didn't see really, I guess the main event was kind of a not clean finish with the Rolex. But everything else has been pretty cut and dry. Like, you know, clean finish, clean finish, clean finish. So I don't know if that's on purpose. But yeah, I'll go B.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, B.
Yeah, I was said B minus.
Charlie?
I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to say C. I just think that between the Saturday night's main events and the PLEs, you gotta make them stand out. You know, between you, the Raws are, you know, we talked about ticket prices for Raws. They're charging ticket prices that are astronomical. You have to make the PLEs and the Saturday night events stand out on a different level. So there was nothing wrong with it, and there was two really, really good matches. But like compared to a SummerSlam, no way.
Yeah.
This is definitely a B type show.
I think
Especially overseas, like you would think they put a little more effort into, or maybe less because that's less.
It's like
prep,
a fight
but, like,
night for a UFC, an equivalent to a UFC
That's actually a good way
pay-per-view.
to describe it.
Yeah, I think the hard part is with a show like this. So those Crown Jewel shows never felt like big pay-per-views. They felt like spectacles for the Saudi crowd, and now like this one felt like a spectacle for the Australia show. Yeah. But like the hard part is because you have that stupid Crown Jewel title. It's like those two men's and women's main events, the title matches, like aren't really title matches. It's just a match. You just slap these two together, which is kind of cool. But it's real quick. Like you don't get much of a story build up, and they don't get much of a payoff because it's not going to go anywhere afterwards. So I think that's the hard part. Like if you had Seth and Punk, like if you did a title match, then you could have really sold it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a professional match and then going for the Olympics. Like there's no storyline. You're just jumping right to the thing. Like you two have to fight. There was no build up to it.
Yeah,
and
there's none of
you
that.
have Survivor Series where you're supposed to do team versus
Right.
team or champ versus champ. You know, so it's
Same thing.
gets a little bit muddled, but
Gonna get dicey.
Yeah. It sounds like they have some big stuff planned for Survivor Series, but we'll see. I won't spoil nothing yet. We'll see what happens. I don't put my foot in my mouth, but we'll see what they plan for that. All right, so that was Crown Jewel, and as I said, Charlie wins again. I sound like a broken record at this point. I got to start picking smarter. I think, yeah. If I don't want to worry about facing
That
stipulations
helps.
every time,
That definitely helps.
I need to pick smarter, not with my
I wanted to lose this one.
booker's mind. Yeah. All right, so I'll hand it over to Charlie.
You get
And
to pick whoever you want.
It's true. This
I'm
week's
not picking
stipulation.
myself.
This week's stipulation is you will be cutting the DX apology video. So infamous video from the Attitude Era. Go look that up yourself, or just stay tuned for next week and you'll see it in full blast. So
All right,
Charlie,
this is hard. This is hard. Because Kathy, you gotta get introduced sometime or another.
I'd rather wear the most ridiculous something than do this. I am not a public speaker in any way. If you want this to be funny, don't pick me.
I think you would genuinely feel uncomfortable. So I'm not gonna pick you. Now it goes down to the Jeremy. You're normally my pick. I mean, I didn't pick you last time. And what
Aw,
happened? Joe hit a grand slam.
you did.
Joe, you over delivered, bud.
yeah, I knew it.
You're going again next week,
Oh
pal.
my God.
We gotta give him his SAG card now. He's our professional actor over here.
If that gold dust thing almost cry,
Yeah.
both live and then listening to it, I wouldn't have picked Joe. But it's congratulate. It was on the stellar performance of last.
It's a
Badge of
compliment.
honor.
This is not a punishment. This is a compliment,
I knew
but a
this
little
was
bit of
coming.
a punishment.
That's why I really wanted to
Is it
win
really
this
that
one,
bad?
'cause it's not bad as, maybe as bad as the Goldust one. It's just, it takes prep. Like,
Yeah,
I'll do it. I'm going to do it. I'll take my loss and I'll
kill
do
it.
it again. I knew I was screwed when I did the Goldust one well.
yeah.
This one was going to bite me in the ass if I lost. So, all right. I'm doing another one. And then
You're up, pal.
if I win, I know right where I'm going with the next stipulation. So, I know. I was picked
Kathy,
twice
if
in a
you
row.
win next time, man.
I love not being in the middle of this.
You guys are gonna pick one that works just for me, and I'm gonna win, so it's not even
Yeah,
gonna
right.
matter.
Yeah.
All right. So next week, I will be doing, or maybe sometime during this week, I'll record it. Try
It
and get
doesn't
it
have
up.
to be next week.
Yeah, I'll get it on our YouTube and our Instagram. And
Oh, we don't want to do it
TikTok.
live?
well, we can record it before we record the show and then air it. We'll figure it out. But either way, within a week, you guys will see this new video. So me as Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Does somebody want to be China in the background? She doesn't say anything. Somebody could just pose in the back.
I will do that.
Can we save that for the in-person show?
We could. Yeah, that would have been good.
I'll be
we'll
hornswoggled
have-
somewhere.
We'll have something else for that. That'll be a special. And that's Survivor Series. So we're going to go big with that stipulation. Whether I have to pay the punishment again or not. So stay tuned, guys. I'm doing it again. Hopefully it's as good as Goldust. I don't know.
I don't know. Nothing's gonna be as good as Goldust. I don't know about that.
Yeah, this one's just cooler. Goldust
Yeah.
was a little more outrageous. This is just cool. So I don't know if it's going to be as funny, but we'll see.
If it's better than the Gold Dust one, I'm becoming your manager and we're going.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. We're going to go into
We're
our
definitely
gimmick
finding
of
a
the
new
week.
profession for you, sir.
We're going to jump into our gimmick of the week, and Jeremy's going to do it this week because he is dying to sink his teeth into this one. So, Jeremy, take us away.
Yes. We are talking about the meat. That is what Joe wants me to sink my teeth in you, too. God damn you, Joe. Go to hell. So, the meat. Actual name, Sean Stasiak. Father
And it wasn't
was
dumb meat.
Dan
Yeah.
Stasiak.
Yeah,
Dan the
just
Man
meat.
Stasiak.
Time out.
Just meat.
Not
He
the
was the
We're not Arby's.
diva, as I want to call. We got the meats. So anyway, he comes in April of 13th, 1999 as the side piece of the PMS, if I'm not mistaken, like their boy toy. So
Worse,
he's basically
they're
the diva
slave.
for the Pretty Mean Sisters. Yeah. And throughout the whole thing, his career as that character, he was definitely what you would want to call as a jobber. He went in for shock value. His whole gimmick persona was he was tired down in the ring because he had to please the PMS girls. So there's why they would say he was exhausted. So all his energy was backstage, not out on the stage. Not a terrible wrestler either, might I add, though. Like, he wasn't bad. He was big as hell. Turns out now he's a chiropractor. Thank you, Charlie. You told us last week about that. Watch the interview with him with the House of Wrestling. He was talking about his whole thing building up there, how he possibly have been let go due to the fact that he secretly filmed the British Bulldog and Steve Blackman on the bus, and that got caught and ultimately led to him leaving because there was tension in the locker room. And then he went into WCW for a little while, came back later, and he was Sean Stasiak after that, what his name. And then there was a small stint where it was Stacy. He was from Planet Stasiak and all that stuff. So it was an interesting ride to see his whole career. But that one in particular, that one was peak Attitude Era, pushing the buttons of everything and seeing how far until they'd say you can't do that live on TV.
I want to ask one question because I never heard that story of him being released. I didn't know that. What exactly I'm assuming, what were Bulldog and Steve Blackman doing that he was filming it? And
he
I'm
was
assuming
recording them. He got their voices. It was on the bus and they were just bickering back and forth. And he apparently was doing it to just try and show them, like, you guys sound like two little bitches. But they didn't know that. And then they heard it in his bag, which created the tension in the locker room because there was tension with WCW and everything then.
Yeah, he tried to say it was a joke and they suspended him anyways because I guess it's a privacy thing. And shortly after that, he got let go.
What a waste of talent. He was pretty good in WCW.
Yeah,
like, he actually was decent in WCW, and then he comes over here. And
he did some stuff in the Indies from like 7 to 2010.
He had one funny thing where he would run, like Stone Cold would be talking, and he would just run and hit the wall or do something. That was kind of funny.
They were talking about that too.
Quick anecdote.
Sorry, Charlie.
Jericho was talking about it on his podcast. He just signed with the WWE, and he was to debut the next night. So he went to the TV tape. There was a house show the day before, and it's like the first match was Meat versus Big Boss Man, and the finish was they would throw a dildo to Meat, and Boss Man would catch him and hit him in the head with it, and that was the finish. And Jericho's like, "What did I get myself into?" That was the first thing we saw. But luckily, it got a little bit better than there. But I don't know. In real life, he was hooking up with Terry Reynolds. That's a shoot. But I don't know who comes up with that gimmick. That's got to be a Rusev gimmick.
Well, think about that. Flipped.
And his finisher was the meat grinder.
Oh my God! You get canceled.
Yeah, can you imagine that flipped? And I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but his debut outfit, and again, I don't know if it was probably a prop. I hope for his sake it was a prop. He had a boner. Like, it was this whole thing. And it's like those tight shorts with the meat, and then it had this like tucked in boner, and I was like,
maybe that is the story. Maybe I'm like, maybe it was, like it was like a fake boner, and then he has weapons.
That's probably the dildo from the night before. Now our stories have
definitely had a boner.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, this is, if you, like I said, if you put this the opposite, I can't even imagine what kind of they've pushed the boundaries of incest and all sorts of things, but thank God they didn't push it the other way, because that would have been a rough time for them.
Yeah, I don't remember the boner thing. I'm kind of glad I don't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
did
everything
it.
about it was
It's buried away there,
incredibly
Joe. Never to
uncomfortable.
come back out again, that memory.
Thank God this was only a couple months worth of things. I can't believe PMS in general lasted as long as they did. Like, just,
Yeah.
I don't know if they were trying to pull in, like, the female crowd. Because pretty much the rest of his career, he was the pretty boy. Like, it's unfortunate because he comes from he's a second generation from Stan the Man. And, well, this is what I was thinking about, too, when I was reading how bad this really was. Like, what did Stan the Man do to piss somebody off that his son debuted on his birthday as meat with a boner? Like, come on. Somebody pissed somebody off somewhere cosmically or literally that was the beginning of this poor man's professional career.
And this is one of the
A gig's a gig.
where I would go back to my pick earlier of who I'd want to be for a week. I don't want to know what Vince McMahon was thinking with just meat walking out with a boner. Like,
Yeah.
keep me away.
With PMS. Meat walking around with a boner with PMS.
Get the boner in there.
Just hearing
And the
that out of
fact that-
context is bad.
And the fact that his whole spiel was about, oh, I'm so tired because of all the things that I've been doing. Like, that is, they really put
I
a
gotta
lot
keep
of thought
PMS
into
happy.
this storyline.
And
That's
Vince,
too much.
To Vince, that's like the ultimate insult because he thinks he's like, the genetic jackhammer.
Yeah.
Like, you can't please two women?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, you're so tired. Watch
They got
me.
PMS? Get them the meat.
And it's sad because he was in amazing shape. He had a great look about him. And I guess that's what did him in. He was a good looking dude, so they stuck him with these 3 women. And
Yeah, he was like the
he was a collegiate
dunce
wrestler,
guy
too.
for the rest of his career. He was that pretty dumb guy pretty much for the rest of any name that he was.
yeah, and he goes
to his credit, he tried to make it work. I mean,
He did,
the
no.
dance thing almost slightly got over. The meat, I'm not sure he's named the meat, but meat, no, I don't think ever had a chance.
And he did well. Like, he was winning. Like, there was a bunch of matches that he actually won. And this wasn't just him following them around. Like, they really thought this was working. Again, the fact that they think certain things really need to be pushed and work is ridiculous. I don't know. Like I said,
PMS go against the blue balls. A culmination.
or you could have a triple threat match. You could have them, and then you throw in the Dicks,
Oh, God.
another tag team.
there you go.
That's a bunch of Richards right there.
But his biggest feud was with another guy we talked about, Chaz.
Yeah.
So, and his like downfall with that was he was hooking up with what was Chaz's, wasn't his mom anymore. It was Mariana, I think was her name. He got caught backstage, making out with her, and then that's what broke him out of PMS, and that's when he disappeared. But yeah,
that's how PMS broke up. Started one by one breaking up too. Is everybody
On the Jumbotron, they caught them kissing.
Yeah. So you could have maybe done a beaver cleavage and meat tag team. And,
add that into the triple threat. That's quite
Meat
the
cleavage.
meat cleavage.
Just
There
think
you
of
go.
it. Meat
There you go.
cleavage right there. That'd be great.
Or beaver meat.
What's that? You'll find out.
All right.
Oh my god.
Beaver meat. All right.
The fact that we've had multiple gimmicks that in somehow have reached this level of inappropriate is just so ridiculous.
That's the dick, by the way.
Yes.
The Dicks.
The Chippendales.
Maybe that's next week. We're following a path here. We went from beaver cleavage.
Yeah.
Jeremy, look who's under the dicks.
Oh, your
Oink.
favorite.
That Dink?
Yeah,
Dink the clown. Yay. Get over here, you little
dicks and dicks.
melon.
Doink and Dicks. Perfect stable.
It sounds like a
Lincoln-
supermarket.
Doink and Dick's take on
Dick's.
beaver meat.
This is
No,
what Vince
meat
McMahon has done
cleavage.
to us. Maybe we are in his brain a little more than we thought we were.
I think we're so far from watching something else.
Can you imagine? So again, here's another
What is
conversation. How old were we when this was a thing? Like,
Yeah,
we
kids.
were kids. Kids.
Yeah.
12, 13.
Yeah,
Perfect
Yeah,
time
Meek was
for us
99,
to enjoy that type of
I was
humor
13.
even more.
yeah. I was 14
Yeah, I was 12.
or 15. Yeah. So it's wild. The 90s
Yeah.
were a very wild time. If you look back, none of this would
Very,
happen
very
now.
wild time.
Couldn't get anywhere near. You couldn't touch the stuff with a 10-foot pole now.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Those
No,
were the
not
days.
It's
especially
already
social media,
questionable
too.
talking
God, it'd
about
be
it, let alone
ruined.
actually having it happen.
Imagine just turning this show
Yes.
on right now with zero context, listening to what we're talking about. You would never
Nope.
think this is involved with something that's considered a sport.
A
You just saw a
televised,
picture of
a
two
national
strippers.
Thank you,
cable
Vince
televised show.
Oh boy! All right,
That people
was-
let their kids watch late at night.
Or pay excessive amounts of money back then for the pay-per-views. Like, you paid
For
to
the
watch this
pay-per-view
stuff.
and merch.
To be fair, most of Meat's matches though were like on Shotgun Saturday Night and Sunday Night Heat, and whatever
I
that
hope
pre-show was, that was on like the TV Guide channel.
Typically when
the
my
top
meat
corner.
matches were.
The free-for-all.
The free for all. Yeah, there you go.
What did you
wrestled
say,
on that.
Jeremy? What did you say?
Apparently, it's hilarious.
Typically when my meat matches were.
I still don't know what's
Friday Night Heat and everything. It was typically when my meat matches were.
Oh, oh, jeez. Sunday Night Heat.
Go back to calling them the meat.
The media. Oh my god.
All right. Thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
for our gimmick of the week. I know you've been dying.
You're welcome.
To cover the meat. That was our gimmick of the week.
Yes.
That was our episode. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you like and subscribe us on YouTube. Check us out on TikTok and Instagram as well. We're posting stuff up there. And then stay tuned. Maybe we'll get this video out earlier. We'll see, of the stipulation of me doing a DX apology. So that's coming soon. Stay tuned. I got to practice. We'll see how good I can do it. But either way, by this time next week, you guys will see it. So stay tuned for that. And we'll be back next week with another episode. So with that, I will hand it over to Charlie to take us out.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us for the Squared Circled Spotlight. Sorry, we talked Dick's meat, dildos. Don't we? I'm a little bit confused.
Hold on. Your
Kevin,
reaction
get
to
on
Dixon.
I'm sick. No, physically sick. Yeah, join us next week for Squared Circle Spotlight, where merch is mandatory, gimmicks are golden, and every story we have a pop in a weird sexually named wrestler.
I was gonna say, and our gimmicks are super weird. They're just getting weirder as we go here.
And inappropriate. But I love it.
See you guys next
Yep.
week.